Hey guys, it's Ontario here with Warrior Wild. Talk a little bit about depression today. I heard somebody call or use a comparison of depression with as a monster the other day, and I was like, I really like that. I often will compare it to a snowball, where you're at the top of a mountain and it's really hard to get that snowball moving, and it's if you're trying to move in a positive direction, right? But if you're trying to push it over the other edge, it tends to be really easy and it picks up steam really fast. But either way, it'll pick up steam. And the same goes for this idea or this concept of depression being a monster. It's like, are you going to feed it or are you going to starve it? And it's hard. So I don't want you to think it's just like you're just can make a decision, I'm going to feed it or I'm going to starve it. But I want you to know, especially if you're somebody who's experiencing depression, that it's hard and that you can do hard things. So let's talk a little bit about it. What is depression? And of course, this isn't medical advice. And I'm not giving you a diagnosis. I can't practice medicine over YouTube. But what I can do is educate. And depression looks very different for different people. But let me just tell you, we were going to go kind of by the book, right? For those of us in the mental health field, it's the DSM-5. That would be what is the gold standard for coming up with criteria. So let me tell you, if I was going to diagnose you with depression, I would look for this. I would look for certain symptoms. One of them is a depressed mood, so that's not a shocker. So you would need to either have a depressed mood or anhedonia, which is loss of pleasure. The loss of pleasure in the things that you have previously loved and enjoyed. Then we look for a handful of symptoms that kind of fall under this list. You don't have to have all of them. But it would be, like I said, the depressed mood most of the day, nearly all of the days. And what depressed mood can kind of feel like is like hopelessness, sad, maybe empty. There could be a loss of interest or pleasure, like we talked about. A significant change in your appetite, either suddenly you're ravenous or it's lacking, it's lower. And then also maybe some changes in weight, and that can also go in either direction. Like I said, it looks very different in different people. Some people, they stop eating when they're depressed, and other people try to fill that void with food. It's also a change in sleep. Some people can't sleep, and they have insomnia most nights, while other people have hypersomnia, where they're sleeping all of the time, and even worse, very often, in depression, we have a disruption in our circadian rhythm. So maybe we're sleeping during the day or taking big long naps in the day and then not able to sleep at night. Again, it can look in a variety of ways. Maybe feeling restless, you just can't sit down, or the opposite, the other side of the coin is really slow. Like you're talking slow, you're acting, you're moving slow. This is psychomotor agitation. Increased fatigue, maybe some feelings of worthiness or excessive guilt. Your cognitive abilities may be diminished, where it's harder to think, to concentrate. Maybe you're very indecisive. One of the symptoms is also recurrent thoughts of death, whether that be death in general, whether that be suicide ideation, with or without a plan. Now, it gets a lot more complicated than this. There's actually more. Depression isn't one thing. There is a variety of types of depression and severity of depression. Often mental health comes with other symptoms, other syndromes, other disorders, kind of all mixed together. So again, this is just for education. This is just for you if you're struggling or somebody you love is struggling, or you just want a little bit of education on what depression is. So like I said, this is just kind of some real basic ideas of what some symptoms are. But they look different to different people. And they can come and they can go at different times in our life. And you don't need a diagnosis of depression to experience depression, right? Feeling low, feeling hopeless, feeling sad. This can come at different times in our life for different reasons. And whether or not you're diagnosed or not, whether or not this is new or not, or something you've been experiencing your whole life, whether or not it's severe or mild, it can be very, very intrusive and interruptive, right? It can really get in the way of your life. So I want you to know, and I'll say this again and again, but especially if you are having any of those recurrent thoughts of death, you do want to reach out. And in the link below, I will put some resources so that if you did need to get some help, you would know where to look for it. So let's talk about what we do. So that's how or what depression feels like. And if we're keeping with the idea of the monster, how do we feed the monster? Which is obviously what we don't want to do, right? We would like to not feed the monster. We don't want to encourage this monster's takeover of our life, because that's what it can feel like. Now, I've worked with people where their mild symptoms just were getting in the way of them enjoying what was around them. But they were still getting up and moving and taking care of everything they needed to take care of. And then I've taken care of people who couldn't even get out of bed, who couldn't even brush their teeth, couldn't function, or can't function. So there's a wide spectrum. So when I tell you my suggestions on how we feed or starve the monster, I want you to remember to take it where you are. If brushing your teeth today and changing your pajamas is the biggest thing you can do, then do it. And don't feel guilt. Don't feel like you have to go to the gym 5 days this week and go climb a mountain, because maybe somebody else, that's what they need to do to starve their monster, but you need to give yourself the respect to meet yourself where you are. This is very, very, very important. All right, so how to starve? No, first we're going to feed. How to feed the monster. Now you're going to know that this is going to sound like the same stuff I say all the time, but that's because there is foundational truth in how we take care of ourselves as humans. And so often, these very basic things are not taken care of. So, in order to feed the monster, right? So this is, we don't want to feed the monster, but things that feed the monster, things that make us more depressed. And for whatever reason, because I think the monster is pulling our attention, we tend to make bad choices that make us feel worse when we're in a depressed state. So, staying inside all day, not drinking any water, eating junk food, spending way too much time in front of screens, sleeping in the day, sleeping late, staying up all hours of the night, isolating ourselves, canceling our plans, sitting or lying, shallow breathing, negative thoughts, disconnection from those that we love, staying in abusive patterns or abusive relationships, not holding our boundaries, not respecting ourselves. The more we do these, and these are just a few examples, I'm sure there's so many more. The more we do this, the more disconnected we are from the earth and from each other, the worse we feel, the stronger the monster gets. Sometimes it just takes a couple of hard decisions. Sometimes we just have to push ourselves just a little bit to start the cascade of the starvation. So how do we starve this monster? Get up early, go outside, put our bare feet on the earth, get the sun in our eyes, the sun on our skin, eat whole, real foods. And if you're really struggling with depression, as much as I am a fan of intermittent fasting and using diet and nutrition as tools, if you're depressed, you need the building blocks to allow your body to make the neurotransmitters and the cofactors. It needs so much protein and good fat. You want to eat whole, real food on a regular basis. So get up in the morning and make yourself a big, beautiful breakfast. Eat lunch, eat dinner, not too late. Take a shower, brush your teeth, wash your hair, put your makeup on, put a nice outfit on. Maybe make a coffee date with a friend. Maybe take a walk. Maybe dance. Breathe deep. Learn how to regulate your nervous system. Ask for help. Talk about your struggles. Share your struggles. Tell those around you. People that you trust. Say, hey, can I talk to you for a little while? Find a therapist. Find a coach. Find a nurse practitioner. Find a psychiatrist. Whatever it is that resonates with you, go to your yoga class, get a massage, go to the spa, go to the woods, take a walk. There is nothing more therapeutic than taking a walk outside. You can do hard things. We are here to support you. The more you try to do this alone, the bigger that monster grows. So tell the people around you love them. There's also quite a few supplements that can really be beneficial, along with exercise and sunlight and sleep, hydration, and other human connection in order to help support your mental health. There'll be a video coming soon about that, but I'm sure I have posts on Instagram, or you can reach out to me and I could help you figure out exactly what the best supplementation and nutritional support that would be for you in your situation. So get outside, ask for help, start to feel some gratitude. You can do hard things. Until next time, guys, have a good day.